So good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everybody. Hope everyone's doing well. And this is, well, I'm Brian, and I'm coming to you today from candlecharts.com. Boom, there we go. So got a screen up here, but I'm going to show you, there we go. First of all, our risk disclosure, there it is, found at candlecharts.com/disclosure. Again, this talks about the risks of trading any type of security. We talk a lot about risks, and we talk about, hence, the terminal, you guys probably are aware of what stop losses are, and that's one of the big things that we would talk about. So again, that helps to limit the risk when you use stop losses. But that's all part of mycandlecharts.com. That's what we do, and we do a lot of talking about that. I think Paul had actually suggested we could do a little bit of a poll here. So I'm going to take a look here. There we go. So we're going to launch this one. Have a quick look there. If you can just type something in, well, click on the button. We'll have a quick survey. And I know we went through some of the where do you live bits, but S&P 500, Russell 2000, Mandra, yep, gotcha. Okay. Let's see, is everyone clicking their buttons there? So we got 81% voted. 14% are in Europe. Whereabouts in Europe? Just type in the question and answer box if you could. And the people in Asia. It'd be great to know which countries you come from. And or which markets you trade. Because actually I live in Europe as well, but I still trade only in the US now. And no, I'm not American. I am Canadian and British. Fantastic, good. I think that's not bad. VJ, welcome, welcome. So there we go. I wanted to, Paul said I could choose a couple of my own markets. So I wanted to share this with you because I think this one was very, very special, and it's very, very timely as well. And this is AMC. It's in the US, on the US market. And I'm going to start off with a weekly chart. And of course, possibly some of you have heard, between silver, AMC, and there was a couple of other markets. They were being run up by people sending around those social media comments basically to all their friends and family of, hey, buy this now, buy this now. So a lot of people did. Well, I say that was great and wonderful. As you can see here, we have a huge green candle coming up here, a lot of upper shadow, and then followed by a dark cloud cover, DC, dark cloud cover. As you can see, I'm using the Nissen candle scanner. So the question is, well, AMC, I mean, people were buying. Why did it get to this high? Why did it pull back to here? And why did it slam back down here? And maybe the fall hasn't stopped yet, but let's throw on a couple lines here. Put one there, and one there. So that's where we've closed for last week. That's where we closed the week prior, and that was the high. Now I am going to pull this over. Again, we're on the weekly charts, but it doesn't matter. Again, it's all relevant. And tell you what, we better sneak that out a little bit more. There you go. So you can see all the data that I've got on here. And I'm going to grab my spotlighter. That was the high. That was the high that we went. That was 2 weeks ago. So a week ago this past Friday. Resistance here, support here, and we had other support back here. Do you not find that coincidental? That's the power of looking at the candles, the charts, and really, hey, we've got some logical target places, and we're going to call them resistance areas because, again, we were looking at the market going up. It hit it smack dab. It couldn't have done better. Yes, could it have gone higher? Absolutely. It didn't. And of course, then things, people found out and everything started to sell off. Right, the other thing, okay, so where did we close off? So actually, let's come back here again and we'll take a look at where we've closed this past Friday. Well, look at that. There was resistance there, back here. We had support back here. Good place to come back down to. And it may not have stopped coming down, but we don't know yet. But that is a potential support area. If we look at where we stopped going up 2 weeks ago, again, there was quite a bit of support in here. I'm pretty impressed with that. I may have put that a pinch lower down here where we had the resistance as well. That maybe would have been a little bit more logical, but there was a lot of bullish energy, so we did push through it. That upper shadow, it was concerning for me. So again, then you can dial into your dailies just like that, and we pull it back in there. You can see, and again, I'll grab my spotlight. Look at that's where we closed. We had a hanging man. That's a negative signal. And again, I don't see too many of those, but it is negative. A lot of lower shadow. So again, if nothing else, I would have expected, well, there's a big rising window in here actually, and there is still an open window here. So we came down the next day and then we came up a little bit, but again, this is not a good sign when you're looking at something, well, any kind of stock or any product that you're trading really, and you're going up here and all you've got actually is red candles. That's actually quite negative. The bulls were in control because they thrusted up, but they weren't holding on to the move continually. So again, that's kind of the interesting thing. And let's see what else. We wanted to go in and have a quick chat here. SPY and SPX. And I know we had a couple of people make some comments here. They wanted to talk about it. Let's see. Okay, can we look at, well, we'll take a look at that. Somebody asked for SPX. Oh, there it is. Wendy, you wanted SPX. Are you okay with SPY? Again, let's have a little, actually, I had done something else. I had looked at SPY on a monthly basis, and I put in this nice magenta line. And again, rising trend lines, you can put them in multiple different places. I'm not trying to be an expert here, but I'm just an expert at reading the candles. So again, we're looking at the trend here overall. We keep bumping into that resistance line. Yeah, we dropped here. Yeah, this was the COVID business, and we came up through the resistance here, through the rising trend line, and now potentially using that as a support. And again, look at your moving averages; they're still thrusting up higher and higher. So again, let's come down here and back into our dailies. So what are we? Well, we're into all-time record high territory. I know some you're going to ask me probably, how high are we going to go? Well, that's a good question. That's why, again, we do talk, and I know Sil and Steve and I and Paul as well, we talk about candles. I'd like to say relentlessly, but again, that's why you're at candlecharts.com. So we got stochastics heading in the up direction. We had a little bit of bullish, we had the cross back here, which you can see right here. And again, boom, we popped above the moving averages. So again, still bullish in nature, has been since the beginning of November. 10 and 20 exponential moving averages I use, and again, they're positively stacked. They're starting to spread wider again. Now Friday, again, keep in mind, had a little bit of a red candle. So we had bullish energy to push us to new highs, all-time record highs. We did finish with a little bit of a red candle. Now virtually closing at the high of the day and actually of the week, record high territory. How high can we go? How long is a piece of string? And I don't want to be funny, but because of where we are, what we need to do is we need to, and I'll tell you what, I'll grab my pen. The more we start to see upper shadows like we've got on this candle here, the more nervous I'm going to get, and I'll be looking for potential pullbacks. So I'll be watching these moving averages quite closely that I've just extended them. Again, if they start to cross, again, I'll be looking at possibly negative trades on this. And let me just clean that off, and I'll show you one more little trick here. Going to look for, there you go, around $370. You had some support there. We had support here. In and around this area, we had resistance. So this is called change of polarity. So we'll put an R over here. This becomes support over here. So far, we're heading in the up direction. Now, again, I should warn you guys, I should warn all of you that, hey, I trade with the trend. As a general rule, I like to trade with the trend. Right now, we've got an uptrend. We're on top of the moving averages, and that's key. And the long-term trend is up. The medium-term, short-term trend, they're all in the up direction. Stochastics are up. So right now, again, I'd be looking at bullish trades on this. Would I buy the S&P right now? No. I'd be looking for some kind of pullback like we had here, maybe just a little bit underneath the moving averages. And if I clean that off, you'll see that we had actually a potential signal here, bull sash. And as I say, that was right there when the stochastics were getting ready to turn up, and then we crossed above. That was a real super duper ideal point of possible entry. But that was 4 days ago. That was on Tuesday. So again, it's left the stables. It's already gone. So again, I'll be looking for the next type of pullback because again, we are in record high territory. So where's the resistance? Well, the market will tell us, but we don't have any other sneak peek signals like I was showing you on AMC as an example. All righty. Okay, let me just take a look here. And we want to take a look at, oops, pull that over. Somebody want to take a look at crude. Okay, CL. So we got the CL futures contract don't know if they want to take a look at daily, weekly, or what have you, but we'll start off with the weeklies. And again, I did this the other night. Again, we do our daily and weekly recaps Monday to Friday. Friday gets the extra weekly recap. And somebody made the lovely comment that I mean, look at how crude has come all the way back up here. It's done a miraculous job. And then we go, yeah, look back a year ago. That's exactly where we were. So pandemic started and we had other issues complicating things. Crude oil fell. And we did have potential trading signals. Nice hammer. Stochastics turned up. Came into the moving averages, got across them. We went sideways for the longest time. Really, that was a long, long time. But again, we didn't lose much ground, and now we've started back up again. Look at the force we had, well, last week, because this is a weekly chart. So again, a very, very forceful candle. And you can see again, 10 and 20, they're positively stacked, so they're heading in the up direction. Stochastics they're high, but they're still turned up. And that was something else I had mentioned. If we look back here, this is going back to, yep, 2019. All of this business in here. A lot of sideways box range, we call it. But we've just now re-entered that box range area. So realistically, at this point, and again, based upon, last week's candle, I'm looking target up towards $65. And I'll be looking for it to sort of possibly oscillate between 55 and 65. If we break out of the 65, then we look back a little bit further, and sure enough, $75 would be my next target. But I'm not going to say, well, I'm going to buy now and wait for 75. No, because again, we've got to analyze the candles bit by bit. There you go. So we come into the dailies, and there we go. So again, something else that we can look at here from a daily perspective. We got above moving averages crossed here, but again, we had the forceful bullish engulfing here, forceful bull sash getting us above the moving averages, and then we had the nice run. Why didn't I sell short on the shooting star? And that's what S stands for, and it's a negative, potentially negative candle. And now we came right into a little bit of resistance. So again, shooting star, yeah, I'd expect it to pull back. Well, then it did. 3 days in total, down to the moving averages. We were trading above the moving averages, so really, the trend was already in the up direction. So there you go. I think that's reasonable for covering crude oil today. We'll move along, have a look at Twitter. Let's take a look at the weeklies and see what that one's up to as well. Well, not too shabby. So we want to throw a little line there. We could put it here. We could put it to the high back here, and that was in 2014. Good grief, right? So again, we did have a huge plummet here down to around $12. Then we're right back up to $56, $57, $8. And look at that. So again, we've actually broken through that blue line. If I move it up to the upper shadow that we had there in 2014, again, we've even broken through that. And even better, we've done it with nice force. Okay, stochastics is just turning, and that's on a weekly basis. Stochastics is going to turn much, much slower on a weekly than it will on a daily basis. So there we go. There we are on the dailies, and we'll zoom that back a little bit. So we're entering again what I believe is record high, but again, nice trend. And I say nice trend. We were up. We had a little pullback. We got back up again. We had a pullback, and we're back up again. Okay, if history wants to repeat itself, maybe we go a little bit higher and we have another pullback. That's possible. I've got the 200 period moving average on here. And again, not everybody uses the 200. It's become a lot better friend to me recently. The markets that I look at, the markets that I trade, they've been coming back, and they've been coming back into this area here. So again, keep an eye on your 200 period moving average, because again, markets do like to retest that area. And there we are. So again, we basically just carried on in the up direction. We'll have a quick look at the monthlies just to see. There we go. We have been higher. Let's just throw one more line. Put it around the green candle body there. So looking around $65. I'll just ump that up a little bit more. So at this point, yeah, potentially another $10 for my main target. Again, we've come down nicely. We've come up very nicely as well. That's a potential target. It's also a potential resistance area. Is the market going to get there? Paul, did you want to answer that? Because I know the answer is, well, we don't know yet. Again, we've got to trade it as we want to trade it. Brings up a good question of what time frame do you guys trade? Daily charts, weekly charts, monthly charts? makes a huge difference. And again, you've got to look at the candle charts that represent, again, what you're trading from. I think we had one more in here. Oh, here we go. Let's throw in one more question. We're going to launch one more question while I take a breath of air. There we go. The poll's been distributed. Have a quick look at that. So would you like to improve your trading skills? Some people think they can do it all themselves. Good. If you think you can do it all by yourself, that's terrific. There are so many things that we share with people through the My Candle charts, just literally doing our daily recaps. I know people are learning a monumental amount of things, which is really good, and we're really happy. And that's all we're interested in, is helping people do a better job at trading, more success, maybe just better signals, making their life easier so they can find better entries, better exits, and a little less work. There we go, 70%. So 90% certainly want to improve their skills. And I'm going to tell you, it's not hard, it's not difficult, but it does take a little bit of coaching, mentoring, sometimes some actual education. And of course, listening to us 5 days a week. We've got multiple programs that we're running here live. And whether you dial in live or whether you check us out on the recordings, there's a lot of good information. It's just a matter of, again, absorbing that and applying it to your particular markets, your particular trading strategy, all that good stuff. There we go. So we'll bring that back over. Okay, so that was Twitter as well. We've looked at. So again, doing very, very well. Potentially looking for another $10 on that as a target. But again, we're going to be careful. Tesla. Well, let's have a quick look on the monthlies just to see there. So again, it was in the doldrums for the longest period of time, and we've got literally up like a rocket ship. So one thing that I do tell everyone, so I don't know if Paul's gonna, I'm gonna sneak this one out there, Paul. Give away some of our trade secrets. Again, here is where we had the cross of the moving averages. We were closing on top of the moving averages, the 10 and 20 exponential, as you can see here. Had a little pullback into the 10 period, forceful green candle, and we took off. Again, we pulled back in, bull sash. Again, we're taking off from there. That's on a monthly basis. So when you're on top of the moving averages, and we still are on the weekly charts, again, it's bullish. The market is bullish in nature. Yeah, we had a little bit of pullback right in here. We had a couple of bull sashes here. Great. That was the greatest opportunity to re-enter the market, I would say. In fact, looking at the stochastics turning up here, that would have been the second bull sash. And don't worry about the money that you would have handed back, but it was a great opportunity to enter the markets. And again, you can look up here, we got overextended away from the 10 period. So yeah, we've had a bearish, we've had a bearish engulfing, but also countered with a little bit of green each other week, right? And we still haven't quite hit. I'm going to throw in a little line there. If we just extend out the 10 period moving average, we're getting close to it, but we haven't quite hit it yet. There we go. Okay, so now we're on to the dailies of Tesla. So again, we are in record high territory. So what would I say initially is, well, what I instantly see is some resistance in this vicinity. I'm just drawing that on. To be honest, I'm going to throw it right there. Yeah, we've popped a little bit above. Really, I'm looking at this area here, just underneath the 900 to be the main resistance area. So again, we're sort of crunched in here, and could throw another little line in. Oops. Grab onto that. We pull that down. We had a little bit of a rising window here. We did close that window by the look of it. It's darn close, but I think that was all nicely closed. Maybe a small box range. Moving averages are now turning sideways. Yes, stochastics is up. I'm not concerned about that right now. So that's looking good. There's good momentum. Very, very small real bodied candles. And we're virtually only going sideways. So at this point, I'm going to be saying, well, I want to see a forceful candle pretty much blow through the magenta line on top or on the bottom. This is an expensive stock. This would be one that I would be trading options on, whether it be buying calls or buying puts. And you would buy puts if you thought the market was going to come down. But again, I wouldn't be second guessing the market. I'd be waiting for a close somewhere down around the 750. And there we go. Let's look. We could throw in another line. Potential target. Again, we had a rising window here, not even attempted to be closed. It's down around 425. And of course, if we break out to the top side, again, the sky's the limit. So again, I'll be reading the candles very, very closely. Right now, so far, it looks bullish. Again, bullish on the 10 and 20. They're positively stacked. The 200 period moving average is coming up nicely. And it's just a matter of, again, breaking out of this box range. And there we go. So we had someone ask about Apple, right? A quick snoop on there we go on the monthlies. Yeah. And I'm going to throw a line down here. And I do like the shoulder. So I'm going to leave, and look at this shoulder here. And look at where we came right over here. That was in, January 2020 or January 2020 or December 2019, something like that. So again, now we've come up, we've blasted through that. Good news, record high territory. And we do have some upper shadow up here. So again, just keep your eye on that one. Stochastics starting to turn over. Good news. So take a quick look in at our weeklies. And there you go. Actually, you can see now, and I can even bring that down a pinch right there. So 2 weeks ago, we had a dark cloud cover. But again, yes, positive action on the moving averages, the 10 and 20. They were still heading up very, very strongly. So I wouldn't have gone short the market. And sure enough, last week, a relatively small wheel-bodied green candle. But nonetheless, that's a more sustainable size. The oversized candles, they concern me because, again, there's a lot of risk and a lot of volatility in the market then at that point. But as you can see here again, just draw a nice little line there. Again, we're still heading in the up direction. It's still bullish in nature. And when we've been pulling back, I'll take that off. When we've been pulling back, we've only been coming down to around the 10 or the 20 period moving average for a little bit of touch, and then we bounce back up again. So, sorry, yeah, this is on the weeklies. Yeah, stochastics are still falling, but not sharply. I'm actually trying to turn a little bit more sideways. So on the dailies, there you go. So, okay, and I'm going to bring in my spotlighter there. You can see we actually had 3 days at that little resistance line or potential resistance line. We've hit it 3 days running, and then we had a little pullback. So from a daily perspective, yeah, we've been oscillating underneath, above, underneath and above, and chucking and chopping and changing all the way up here. We've come back already with a little bit of force, but again, we haven't blasted all the way through the 20 period moving average. And again, this is where I might throw in a little lower trend line just to line that up. Maybe I should have put in the 50 period moving average, but I'll just throw in a straight line here and say, yeah, that represents reasonable support. Hit it once, twice, 3 times in here, 4 times here, and we're still pushing in the up direction. We're still closing on top of the moving averages. It looks like the market is going higher, but I would put some caution in and around the $145 mark. Again, if we blast right through it with one candle, all the better, and I'll be more bullish when we do that, or if we do that. Stochastics on the daily side of things turned up very, very sharply. So again, that is a sharp angle. That's very, very strong. Candles aren't representing that just at the moment, but we had a nice bull separating line there. That would have been on Thursday. A little bit of pullback. There was a little bit of volatility on Friday, I must say. So again, we'll have to wait and see. Again, if we start to get closes underneath the 10 or 20, then I'll start to get concerned that maybe we've run out of gas and we aren't going to go higher. But it's nice to see some pullbacks and then a little bit of force to come in and you can re-enter. And if I was going to make a comment, I would say we had the pullback here. We had a couple, bull separating line there, just barely got through the moving average. We pulled right back again to the same area. Forceful green candle through both candles, through both moving averages nicely. Stochastics was up. And Kerbluey, we just zoomed right up. So wasn't that great? So I don't mind these pullbacks, but I'm then looking for a potential signal. Bull separating line is nice, not quite enough force for me to jump up and down for joy, but this was the better trade that I enjoyed. And of course, high wave candle here, that was my exit point. Because again, I'm just risk averse. Didn't mean that the market was going to go down, but it was a sign of potential troubles ahead. And well, as you can see, we pulled back a little bit. And again, an inexpensive stock. So we want to watch our money, watch our pennies, and trade safely. There we go. We got somebody in Europe, and somebody's asked for the German DAX and good market. Let's again, we'll dial into the weekly. So actually, why don't we even dip back to the monthlies just to see? And all of a sudden, we're going to start to say that you know, we've done a lot of sideways activity here for a long time. If I was going to look for some good, yeah, right in here, probably. This is the whole COVID business, came right back into this area, well-tested support area. We hit it, yeah, we went through it, but we bounced back off. And again, there's your 200 period moving average. We hit it and bounced, nice. So we are still going higher. We're closing at the record high. We haven't traded at the record high. We're just a few pennies off of that record high, but we have done an amazing job. This is the highest we've ever closed at. On the monthly charts, on the weekly, yeah, it looks like we're above that little point there as well. So closing 14,009, and we closed on Friday at 14,105. So yes, record high, still got some resistance in this area where we are. But nonetheless, again, we could still look back here and say, you know, just draw sort of a line right through the middle of it and say it's going up at a very strong angle. Very pleasant, very happy and healthy. There's your 200 period moving average on the weekly. Again, we're positive. Moving averages are above it again. You know, we came down and retested the area. We came through and bounced quickly. Good news. And there we are onto the daily. So again, yes, record high territory. So again, yeah, we need to be concerned. And again, we did hit that. That was early in January. So again, we've got the same highs. We had a shooting star. And we haven't negated that shooting star because we haven't closed above the upper shadow. So again, we look at that and say, yeah, there's a little bit of resistance here. It's probably going to be a little bit news driven, and that's what will push it one way or the other. But nonetheless, stochastics are turned up nicely on the daily charts. We had some good force here to really thrust us back up here. And hopefully, again, we can bump through it. And then again, we're going to want to watch each candle, each and every candle, and assess them basically at the end of the day to see where we think that may be going. So I bet you're looking for a market that we can sort of look for some support and resistance. So let's click on to the sterling, the cable as they call it, the pound versus the US dollar. Okay, we'll start off on the monthlies. Why not? We'll throw in a couple lines here. Again, nice support. Look at this support here. This was in 2016-17. Boom, we hit it again in 2019 and 2020. We hit it again. That's how powerful it is. There we go. Move that up a little, somewhere in this vicinity here. A couple of reasons why I'm going to put it there. Actually, I pull the charts back, and you should be able to see that just beautifully. Again, nice support. Mixed and mashed here, but again, we hit good, nice resistance right there. That's my target, and let's just take a look to see roughly 141 to 142 in that vicinity, and we're at 137 right now. The market is heading in the up direction. Isn't that great? How long it's going to take, that's another question, but we're heading in that direction, so I'm, yeah, quite happy for that. And there we go, we'll move that back. There we go, so we can see all that nice stuff. So there we go, nice support down here, down around the 122. And it looks like we're heading up towards a potential resistance of 142 in that vicinity. I'm happy to look for that. And so far, again, moving averages positively stacked, the 10 and the 20, nice and bullish in nature. Yeah, again, we came up, we had a little pullback, which is great. The market's got to take a little breath, build up our strength again. Now, again, if you're in record high territory, which I know this is not, but some of those other markets, we'll zoom in a little bit on here and we'll take a look at these last couple of candles. So I want to take a look. There's a high wave candle there, high wave candle back here, relatively smallish weekly candle here. So again, I'm looking at this and I'm starting to say, well, is the market running out of steam? It is still bullish in nature, but I would be getting a little bit cautious, if you will. Okay. And there we go. So we'll pull that back. We'll have a quick look onto the dailies just to see what we're doing there. There we go. That looks much better actually on the daily perspective. There, and I'm going to pull that down a bit. There we go. So we can see around the 142 area. And even on the daily side of things, I'll just throw a nice little trend line through it just so you can sort of take out the noise, the up and down oscillation. Again, we're just trending in the up direction. It's doing exceptionally well. And we had a little pullback here. We had a nice bullish engulfing. Again, the Nissen candle scanner, it's great because instantly I can say, oh, right, bullish engulfing, a lot of lower shadow. Oh, right, stochastics turned up. Nice green candle on Friday as well. Looks bullish in nature. I'd say a little bit of minor resistance right there, but I would be less concerned about that. And let me just pull that back a little bit more, see what we got here on the daily. There we go, that's right. So for the chart, we're in daily highs. So again, really looking for the push up towards the 142, 143 area. As I say, a little bit of resistance there. It might take a little bit to bump through, but we have had a nice little pullback. Happy with that. And as I say, moving averages positively stacked, heading in the up direction. Great. Great. And there we go. Let's move on to Bitcoin. Paul, have we run out of time? Let's see, Bitcoin. So we had someone ask right in a while ago about Bitcoin. Again, we could zoom back as far as we wanted. Where did it launch? It was around 21,000, which was down here close to actually this vicinity down here. So recently, what have we done? I mean, it's had a miraculous 12 plus months. Again, we got on top of the moving averages. We zoomed up, had a little pullback to the 20. We zoomed up, and again, very, very forcefully came up here with a nice counterattack. And we came down into the 20 period moving average. Initially only to the 10, bounced down to the 20. So again, nice pattern there. And we've started to come back up. But again, I'm looking at these candles here and saying the last 2 days, Thursday and Friday, 2 high wave candles. Again, coming right into where I have the magenta line. And it's just looking like it may be finding some resistance. BOZ, GBTC, well, we can take a look at that. Let's see if I can get that up. Okay, there we go. Is daily all right for you? Yeah. I've had concerns about Bitcoin for a while now. Again, it's surpassed all of my expectations. But again, when we were rising up with red candles, gave me some concern. Okay, we fell here. That was good. Rising window with a red candle, right? So we oscillated here. And again, we rose up again, more with a red candle. Then again, we made the all-time high here on GBTC. 2 red candles, day back to back on the day. So again, interesting that we were down, we opened up, closed down, and then we fell again. So again, that doesn't bode well. And again, the last 2 days on GBTC, a couple of red candles. Right now, it looks potentially like we might be stalling out. So again, what we always do, we always mention here again, we always look for rising and falling windows. So again, we had a rising window back here. So that's potential support down here. Yeah, just underneath the $28, $27.50. And if I look for the little bit of resistance, looking up around 42. So again, waiting to sort of see, well, what the market wants to do, because again, I'm trading with the market. I like the candle down here. I'll just grab the quick spotlighter. That was not, I like the lowest shadow. Came into a decent area. We were underneath the moving average, but again, one day pop, that was nice. Yeah, we got on top. That was good. Nice green candle on top of the moving averages. But then we just stalled out. Small rising window, which we've now closed. But as I say, now going sideways. So yeah, I'm looking for higher probability, nice trade setups. So this is the treasury, I think 10-year treasury notes. And this is the future. So 10-year treasury, well, I think we need to take a look back in time on this one. And again, let's take a look here at this high point here. We'll take a look at the low, well, we'll leave the low point in there. That's always nice to see. There we go, we'll put one line there. We'll throw this one somewhere up there. Okay, that's on the monthly. Whoa, stochastics. Okay, going down sharply. 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So we're in the 5th month really of falling here. We're through the 10 period, coming down towards the 20. So from a monthly perspective, and again, put this on your trading charts. I'd put a little line there and say, yeah, 151. I'm going to be looking at that area there as a potential support. Potential. Let's just take a look here. Where is a 151? Good. And actually, if we extend this, and it is where your 20 period moving average was on the monthly chart. So if we pull that back here, you could say, right, we blasted through, retested as potential support, and we've come up. And you see how we're rounding out the top. Again, moving averages have crossed here with a big bearish candle, and we're slipping in the down direction. Stochastics are still turned down. There's your 200 period moving average down around 143, 144. In fact, if we put a line over in this vicinity here, again, not bad. my next potential support area. So really, again, we look at this, and I'll even zoom back out a little bit, and you can see the cross here on the 10 and the 20, right? And I'm going to throw an arrow on here, and I'm going to say, really, from here, we are in a downtrending market. I wouldn't likely be buying on these lower shadowed candles or the piercing patterns, because again, I'm looking for resistance to come into the 10 and the 20 period moving average, maybe the 200. Okay, so we've done that and we have fallen. So really, I'm looking for the bump in the up direction, then looking for a nice bear sash and saying, I can re-enter here. Boom. Still heading in the down direction. That's what we're doing. All righty, Paul. Let's see, I think we had a couple of more requests. Let's see what else we can do. Nifty, 15-minute chart. I don't know if I can get NIFTY. Well, Nifty. We can do Nifty. Yeah, there we go. Let's see if that comes up. That is not coming up on my charts for some reason. Darn. See if that one loads up. But if not, we can come back to that one in a minute. Just taking a look to see, we did have a couple other requests in there. Okay, so the Nifty is not really cooperating right now. There we go. Let's take a look at SRNE for Steve. Welcome, Steve. Take a quick look here on the, oh, there we go. Interesting. Yeah, it's been shaking and grooving, is moving around, which is good. Nice pivot point up there. And we had another resistance area here and here. And so I'll start to zoom in a bit and see what's been going on. So again, we've come up to this resistance line, we blasted through it, and we're sitting right on it. Stochastics turn out, that's on a weekly basis. Stochastics are up, which is good. And of course, I would throw in one more line somewhere in this vicinity. There we go. Down here, good potential support. Let's drill into our dailies. Right, so again, on a daily basis, get a little bit more concerned sometimes with the finer granulation that we look at here. Great support down here. Again, look, we've hit this once, twice, 3 times for quite a few months here. We lifted off. Again, we hit this resistance area here. And again, next possible point of resistance, I'll throw one up there around $19. But again, I'm looking at this and I'm saying, okay, we've come up, we've hit this strongly, pulled back sharply. Okay, we were way overextended away from the moving averages, and we've been still coming in the up direction. Weak candles. So again, I do have some concern, but we're still closing above the moving averages, and they've turned up quite sharply. So still looks quite bullish in nature at this point in time. Hope that answered your question. ATVI, let's take a look. Yeah, ATVI, well, maybe we would take a look at the monthlies even, see what this thing's been up to. Right, interesting. We'll throw a quick line there. There we go. Okay, so we're in record high territory, right? Weekly chart, stochastics coming down, forceful bull sash actually this past week. Very, very forceful. Would I enter now? No. If I was in it, I'd be happy and probably hold on to it. But stochastics is falling, so again, I'd be wanting to drive into a little bit more detail here. And there we go. Not bad looking, to be honest. You know, again, we've came up here quite sharply. Again, nice consolidation in here, which is great. You're never going to know that you're going to have a rising window, but we did. Very forceful. Quite a bit of upper shadow though, but now our stochastics are moving averages are turned up very, very sharply. Looking here, and I'm seeing bearish divergence on stochastics, which doesn't necessarily mean the market's going to fall, but it is one of those things that I do look for from time to time. So again, we do have an open window from here all the way up to here. Are we going to retest this area in here, or come down, or down all the way? Good question. We don't know. So we have to watch this one quite carefully. Had I missed this trade, and I did not enter this one at all, but again, looking at this big rising window, I'd want to see what the next couple of candles are going to tell me. Again, the more red they are, great. Got no problem with that. I'm looking for, I like bargains. I want to see a little bit of a pullback in here. Then if we get a nice forceful bullish candle, or bullish looking candle, then I'd maybe enter back there and say, okay, hopefully we're going to blast through even that area. So all I can say right now is that looks very bullish in nature. Concern, yes, windows do like to close. We did have a lot of upper shadow, and that was literally only on Friday. So again, the bulls pushed everything up, and the bears pushed it all the way back down to here. So it is green still, which is good. Take a look on Monday/Tuesday, see how it's looking and faring. But again, we have been above the moving averages since all the way back here in December. Beginning of December, we crossed, and it's been fairly bullish here. It looks like there was some good news on Friday. So again, good luck depending on whether you're in it or looking to get into that one. And there we go. We'll take a look at, did I put that? Yep, pen. There we go. Okay. Quick look pen on, oh, whoa, okay, that's on a monthly chart. We're zooming, absolutely zooming. Wow, that's an incredible move. Stochastics high, but going sideways. Weekly, they're high and going up. And again, big forceful candle. That was last week. That is a nice angle. That's a very strong angle. So again, I've been watching this one quite intently each day, to be honest. I wouldn't want to be giving back my profits that I'd made. So let's see. Right there, we had the little cross there, middle of November. Nice. Headed up, up. Had a pullback. We didn't cross the moving averages. And again, we've come up, and again, we've pushed up even harder still. So again, very aggressive right now. Friday's candle, it's a Mariposa because again, there's no upper shadow. And even Thursday, not really much upper shadow there either. So again, very forceful indeed, and a small rising window, but again, great force. So again, completely different than the last market we looked at, that there is absolutely great energy and force in this market. And the bulls held on right until the end of trading on Friday. So again, that is a very strong sign. I would, of course, then be looking to, do you use stop losses? I mean, Lance, this is for you, right? Do you use stop losses? You know, have you considered raising your stop loss up, maybe up to there? It's a consideration, something to think about. And that way then, if things do turn quickly on you, again, then you haven't lost too much of your profits that you sort of put into the trade here. There we go. I think we had a couple more questions here, and I'm going to do our best. Mahendra, did we answer all your questions, Mahendra? I think you wanted the Russell as well. Oh, forget that. Actually, let's IWM. We can put in. Why don't we do IWM if that's all right? That's the ETF, and again, it has been a very aggressive index. And there you are. We're in absolutely record high territory. That's monthly, still turned up sharply. We're quite a ways away from the moving averages. So again, concern is creeping in, I would say. There we go. Weekly, stochastic still turned up. Very forceful week last week. There was some really good news, or at least the market felt good. This is a lot of it's going to be about stimulus, COVID vaccines. That's what's driving the market. People want to see the economy get back to work. Friday, we ended with a bearhotomy, but it was green. And of course, we had a rising window, which we did close. We do have another small rising window in here. And again, not so bad. On the daily perspective, we're not so far away from the moving averages, which is great. They're turned up very nicely. And of course, as I'm going to say here, I'm going to throw this little line in here and say very bullish in nature. So again, it's a very strong market indeed. I'll be looking for those turns, you know, daily or even intraday, because I'm more of a day trader, but I do look for that. And again, it's good to take a look at the weekly dailies as you're going through, just to see how things are progressing or not progressing. And let's just take a look here. Right, what else did we have? Plug. Is plug a stock? Let's take a look here. Say, there we are. Okay. I think we're ready almost to wrap things up. There we go. Look at all that upper shadow. We'll pull that down. You can see it's a shooting star. It's a bear sash. That was 2 weeks ago, right? There's a weekly chart. So again, we've been sitting in this vicinity for quite some time, which is good / bad news. Certainly, what we've done here is we found some resistance up here around somewhere between 66 to $70 in that vicinity. But of course, we've also found a little bit of support in this area as well. And that's exactly how it is. Now, stochastics have turned down. Moving averages are still going up nicely. So Just take a look at our dailies here. There you go, and you have to sort of rejiggle that. Okay, upper shadow, main body, I like that. Need to pull this down a bit. So we still have this, so if I pulled this down to here, that rising window, that would be a potential support area, but the whole window is potential support. So I'm gonna park that right there and say, so far, we're making a very nice little bouncy bounce in here. It's good news to moving averages. Nice gap between them, very positive, very bullish. Stochastics are turned up sharply. Yeah, we're getting far away from the 200 period moving average, but so far the market is very, very bullish. Again, if I was going to go long this market, either I'd want to see it again pull back to the lower potential support line with a bullish candle, then I might enter and again look for a potential target here, or wait for a breakout above probably around $75 plus or minus, and then look for a trade from there. So I hope that is working for you. I think we've answered most of the questions here tonight. Just asking Paul if we're good, and let's see if there's anything else that might have come in that I missed there. Right, just take a quick, oh, MSOS. Okay, we'll do one more. We got time for one more. So MSOS, how's that? There we are. So we're on the dailies. Hasn't been in business that long there. Let's just see, back in 2020. Right, so okay, yeah, okay, you know, not too shabby. Nice support. You see, there's a nice example of a support. Rising window, and we hit it again, and then we took off. And so right now, we're in we've blown through that shooting star and the bearish engulfing. Good news. Another rising window, a little bit of a red candle. Stochastics are high on the daily basis, but again, looks very bullish. And just to take a quick peek on the weekly, there's not as much data. Yeah, and of course, stochastics look terrible on that. But last week, very, very forceful candles. So this market is looking good so far. Again, I'd be looking for change of direction and pullbacks. And of course, we do have another on the daily chart, another little bit of a rising window here. We've got another one here. Those are potential support areas. As I said, this one here, fair number of windows on this market. They don't have to close the windows, but let's see, it's always a good place to look and for some potential support. So there we go. That is what we were going to take a look at today. And if you come over to here, and I'll show you here, just type in candlecharts.com and you put in the /mycc for my candle charts. It forwards on to a special link. Again, this talks about the My Candle Charts, the whole subscription service that we have. And again, this is basically 5 days a week. We've got weekly recaps, daily recaps. We've got chart of the day, we've got strategy sessions, and morning chart setups. A little small video in here. This one is not very long. It's only about 12 minutes long. Have a look on that. Here's myself where I had done a strategy session, Sil, where he's done a chart challenge, trade setup of the day. Again, there's 5 of those a week. That's Steve. And again, then down below, you can check out the different access and the different plans. A lot of good data down there. So again, that's why we're here, to show you and to help get you some education on the way. And so each day that we're doing our presentations, it's just more education, really, isn't it? So again, it should help you design and develop your own strategy to help you get to trading exactly where you want to be. Okay, everybody, if you've got any questions, do pop those in quickly. We have time for maybe 1 or 2 questions, but outside of that, we're just basically wrapping up and saying thank you very much for joining us today. We hope your trading is going well, and we'd like to help you reach your next level of trading success, whatever that may be, whether it be just making your life easier, finding better trades, or understanding the charts that much easier. Again, we are here, and that's exactly what we do. Oh, thanks, Boz. That's very kind of you. IWM, bearish Hatami on daily chart. You don't know why there's a bearish Hatami. Well, if we just pop back to that. Oh, we'd have to go back into IWM. Sorry, yeah, wrong chart. Bearish Hatami, again, very, very small candle. Yeah, I would have thought that would have been down a little bit lower, but technically that would be a bearish Hatami based on how the candle pattern has formed where it is. So hopefully that's good, and I look forward to seeing you guys again very soon. Drop us a line if you've got some questions about what we do offer. We'd love to help you. And again, there's always the chat button and box we've got on our screen here, right down here at the bottom right. Again, if you click the X, it turns into a blue button. Just click on that, type in your details there, and someone would be happy to get back to you when our open hours are, when we're open. Thanks, everybody. All the best. Have a great rest of your weekend, and we'll talk to you again soon.